From release dates to the writer's strike that might affect the show's future. These are the Yellowjackets Season 3 details fans need to know. Fans are loving Season 2 of Yellowjackets. And the best part is that there's plenty more coming their way. Season 3 has finally been confirmed and fans are going crazy. Let's take a look at what we know so far, and the writer's strike that could put the show in serious jeopardy. Yellowjackets premiered on Showtime in November 2021, and it was a huge success from the very beginning. The show received massive praise, both for its bold and crazy storylines and its approach to delicate issues. As some of you may already know, the show was inspired by the legendary novel The Lord of the Flies, as well as some other classic real-life survival stories, like the Andes flight disaster from 1972 or the Donner Party from the 1840s. Some might argue that these stories have already been told in shows like Lost, but Yellowjackets managed to really keep it fresh. How did they do this? Well, the show is a genius mashup of a few different genres. Part adventure story, part teen drama with a large dose of horror and mystery. A pretty crazy mix if you ask me. Despite touching on all these styles, the show never felt too packed, and many of us found it easy to binge-watch the first season late into the night. Yellowjackets is the story of a group of teenage girls who become stranded in the Canadian wilderness. Once there, all hell breaks loose as the group becomes divided, and some members even resort to cannibalism to survive. It was a pretty gruesome sight, but by then, most of us were absolutely hooked. While we learn the story of the stranded teens, the show alternates with the same characters 25 years later. The girls who are trapped in the wilderness are definitely having a hard time, but decades later, things still haven't gotten any easier. The characters have led very different lives, with some of them becoming much more successful than others, but they all have one thing in common: living with the consequences of what they saw and what they did when they were out in the forest. The first season ended on a high with a couple of big cliffhangers, including Natalie being kidnapped and Simone's creepy discovery in the school basement. So obviously, fans were desperate for the second season to get underway. Finally, 1 year and 2 months later, Season 2 aired beginning on March 20th, 2023. So far, Season 2 has been slightly less impressive than Season 1, and it could do with some more explicit details, just to fit in with the creepy lore created in the first season. Some fans have complained that this season just doesn't have that edge. As one Twitter user pointed out, Season 2 of Yellowjackets really isn't gory enough. Last season you showed us a carcass housing maggots, Misty chopping off Ben's leg, and Javi's dad impaled on a tree. And now we hardly get to see the long-anticipated cannibalism at all. And we have to admit, they have a point. However, the characters certainly haven't fallen off, and the story remains as dramatic as ever. Besides, it's always hard for a show to live up to a groundbreaking first season, but of course, this begs the question: what can we expect from Season 3? Will it bring the show back on track? We certainly hope so. And it looks like a lot of the main characters will be returning. At the very least, Melanie Lynskey, who of course plays the role of Shauna, will be back. The actress confirmed it on Twitter, where she replied to the news of a new season by saying this: "Look, I'll do this show forever if they let me." Well, we don't know if forever is on the negotiating table. What we do know is that the show was created with 4 to 5 seasons in mind, so if all goes well, the action should keep going for a few more years. And this leads us to a very important point. When can we expect Season 3? Well, with Season 2 ending in May 2023, we know that we'll have to wait a bit, and there's still no confirmed date. So the best thing we can do is guess. Season 2 was announced in December 2021 and released in March 2023, and Season 3 was announced in December 2022. If we expect the timing to be similar, we might have new action by spring 2024. However, recent news may put a spanner in the works. The Writers Guild of America has announced a major strike. As you might have guessed, it's about the money. Writers are protesting low wages, and for good reason. 50% of show writers earn the industry minimum, and this amount hasn't changed since 2018. If we take inflation into account, we can understand why writers are so upset. In total, nearly 1,200 writers have refused to work until a new deal is arranged. And yes, Season 3 of Yellowjackets has been directly affected by the strike. As show creator Ashley Lyle put it, "Well, we had exactly one day in the Yellowjackets Season 3 writer's room. It was amazing and creatively invigorating, and so much fun. I'm very excited to get back to it as soon as the WGA gets a fair deal." One day? I can't imagine they got a lot of work done on the first day. So chances are this could seriously affect the release date for Season 3. The good news is that a lot of fans understand the situation, and some have even shown their support online. As one Twitter user said, "The idea that you aren't being paid a decent wage for creating a show like Yellowjackets is obscene. The only reason I give Showtime my money is to watch your show." Many others have echoed this idea, and it's no surprise the show has been a huge hit for Showtime. As a matter of fact, this success is probably the reason why Season 3 was announced so early on. Chris McCarthy, the president and CEO of Showtime, confirmed this in an interview in December 2022. In his own words, "With Yellowjackets' runaway success in Season 1 and the pent-up anticipation for Season 2, we wanted to maximize the momentum by fast-tracking Season 3. The show's ambition is only exceeded by its execution, and I thank the incredible creative team behind it." In other words, it was a good moment to create some serious hype about the show. But hey, we aren't complaining. As far as we're concerned, he can keep them coming. We can't blame him either. The show has clearly defied all expectations, and it was even a major Emmy contender. In the end, the show couldn't secure any awards, but it still managed an insane 7 nominations, including an Outstanding Lead Actress nomination for Linsky. Of course, the hard news now is that they have a lot to live up to, especially considering that a few fans have voiced their concerns about the second season. But as we all know, the show could still pick up again and bring us back to the cannibalistic horrors of the first season. Fingers crossed, it just might. At the end of the day, if the show goes all the way with its 5 seasons, Season 3 will be the center of the story and we'll see the characters facing their second summer in the wild. This might be good news for the characters, who may not have to face being frozen to death. But still, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a very comfy ride either. In any case, we can't wait for the strike to be over so the writers can get back at it and deliver yet another stunning piece of TV genius. I'm afraid that's all we know so far, but don't worry, we'll keep you posted. So, from release dates to the writer's strike that might affect the show's future, those were Yellowjackets Season 3 new details fans needed to know.